All right, welcome today. So today I'm going to demystify light language and how it awakened in me, and how you can maybe awaken it in yourself to help you empower your life if that feels like something that you want to do. So what's light language? It's not a language like we think of English or French. It's kind of more just an energetic signature. So imagine you've read a book. It's got this overall energetic concept and feel of what it wants to teach you. And that's what happens in a millisecond, is that it gets downloaded into your body and you have this visceral knowing of a whole bunch of things or a feeling of something. Even if you don't consciously know what it is, it bypasses all conscious knowing. You don't need to use your logical brain for it. It just goes right to your heart. So that's how light language works. It can be verbal. It can be in song, in music, whether there's words or no words, but frequencies, vibrations. It can be hand movements and like mudras. You might see people like moving around. It can be dancing. So it can be written. It can be expressed by movements. You can write it down on paper. Lots of people really enjoy using black paper with a gold pen. Try it. It's really fun. So that's kind of how it can be expressed in your body or through your body, through you as the conduit. It's kind of described, some people think of it like tongues, but it's kind of a little different. It can come from your higher self, from angelic realms. It can come from intergalactic, multidimensional beings, your oversoul. It could come from just yourself, like your guides for yourself personally. It could be for yourself. It could be for others. And how does it feel inside? For me, when I'm listening to light language or I'm feeling light language coming in, I'll all of a sudden feel really light and expansive. I'll feel pressure in my head. I'll feel a tightness in my throat. Just this general tingling and throbbing of something that wants to be expressed. And sometimes it's me just moving my hands. Sometimes it's moving my body. I have to write something down. Maybe I journal. Maybe I just write scribbles, or I'll speak something. And so that's kind of what it might feel like coming through. You might kind of even feel woozy and lightheaded. So just allow it and just trust that only the best will come if you start to feel that when you're practicing it. So for light language, for me, how this happened was I was in meditation in my room and I was just really like feeling good. Like I just was feeling universal love and connection. And it was just a simple, quiet, unguided meditation. I just was maybe listening to music. I might not have been, but it was just something that energetically was happening in my body. And all of a sudden I started to feel a lot of tightness in my throat. Like it felt like something was getting lodged in my throat and then like being pumped up like a balloon. And I remember going, okay, well, I'm going to trust whatever's happening because I know that I'm in a really good space energetically. Like I'm in love. There's no way that whatever is going to happen now is going to be benevolent or malevolent, sorry. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to just open my mouth. Maybe I'm going to channel. I was really excited. Like, I'm going to channel words. I am going to be like Esther Hicks. I was so excited. And so I opened my mouth and I kind of just, to release the pressure, I was like, ah, just to let it go to see what was going to come. When I started speaking this weird dialect, and it was almost like there was two streams. So there was like observer, ego, me in this human body, Luann, watching something else come through in this other channel in a language and a sound that didn't make any sense to me. And I wasn't controlling it, right? Like it was just moving. So it was like I almost just like relaxed and let my body go so I could just allow whatever wanted to come out to flow. And I was sitting there listening to it and observing this thing happening to me. I was like, I think this is this thing called light language. And I had heard about it and I had kind of just been like, well, that's nice. You know, it wasn't something I like aspired to do or anything. And I'm like, okay, well, I think this is light language. Like, I think this is what this is. So I did end up recording it, and maybe I'll even post a clip of that another day. But it was like the weirdest experience. And so I was like, oh, well, that was interesting. Okay, great. You know, I didn't really know much about it, didn't think too much about it. I didn't want to over intellectualize it because I was like, okay, well, whatever is happening, that was pretty cool. And I just surrendered and let go. And then it would happen again, and it would be a different sound. And I was like, okay, well, that's pretty neat. And like then in one kind of channeling meditation session, it was like driving a standard and like really like shifting gears hard. And so I would be speaking something and then it would pause. And then I would kind of feel like a shift. And then I would speak in a different sound. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. And then I would speak in a different sound. And then I started laughing because I'm like, oh my gosh, do you know what this feels like? It feels like I'm a translator in a meeting, or I'm the radio station connecting to all these people and they're all part of this meeting, and I'm kind of the one that is broadcasting this meeting out. And I had a really good laugh. I was like, oh, you know, like what was it? What did I say? It was like a galactic federation is what I called it. I didn't realize that was actually even a thing at the time. So I'm like, oh, there is a galactic federation. Interesting. So that's kind of how it happened. And again, I didn't know um, where this language was coming from, what its intended purpose was, if it was, you know, like, is it Pleiadian, Arcturian, you know, Agarthian, so like inner earth. The first one that came out really sounded inner, like deep, and like it felt very ancestral and like indigenous. And so then I started to go, okay, well, who can I turn to that might know stuff about this? So I did a quick internet search and I found some resources. And then I started listening to people on YouTube, and I'm like, okay, well, like, this is who I think I'm channeling, or this is the feeling I got from it, or this is, you know, like, listen to the different sounds that everyone else was doing to see if there was a commonality in it, and then just feeling into what they were speaking out and how it felt in my body. And if there was a resonance, I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's this. And then as my meditations progressed, I would actually just sit in meditation. And sorry, that language wants to come through, but I'm going to ask it to hold off. I would sit in meditation and I would say, okay, I would like to channel the Pleiadians. And then I would wait. I would pause. I'd be like, what am I sensing? Like, what am I feeling in my body? Where does it feel? Like, how does my body feel? What parts of my body am I feeling something in? What colors? Am I seeing any colors in the back of my eyes? Am I seeing blues, you know, starry nights kind of thing like that? Pinks. Depending on who I am channeling, I'll see a specific color or range of color. And then I would just pause and I'd wait, and then I would allow something to come out. And I'm like, what does this sound like? How does this feel? Like, even if you're channeling a Pleiadian group, there's different types of Pleiadian groups. There's the inner children, there's the grandmothers, there's the federations, you know, like there's so many different aspects of Pleiadian. So not all Pleiadian light language will sound the same. And because we are different conduits, it will be expressed differently. Some people sing it and like just beautiful angelic sounds. I just typically speak it. I don't have much of an angelic voice. So that's kind of how it started with me, and that's how I learned to trust it. And I went, is this even real? Am I just making weird random toddler sounds, you know? And at the beginning it was a little choppy, kind of like when you were a toddler learning to babble before you learn to speak full English sentences, or whatever language you speak fluently as your first language. And so I just remember like listening to it, playing around with it, and now it's just, because I'm comfortable with allowing it to flow, it becomes smoother for me. I did have an experience where I was in my kitchen once, and I was just cooking supper, minding my own business, and my kids were off playing and doing their own thing. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, activated in my solar plexus, and I started speaking light language as I was cooking. I'm like, okay, no big deal. I can do this. And I didn't know what it was for. Was I blessing the food? Was I energetically preparing the space for supper? Didn't know. And then all of a sudden, one of my kids came screaming in the kitchen, and there was an altercation between them, and something needed to be done by me. And I just remember being like so empowered and so centered and so filled with love that I approached that situation in a way that previously I might not have, and maybe not would have during the supper rush. So I was like, oh, it was preparing me for this experience. And so now I know whenever light language spontaneously comes through, I just allow it to flow because there's something that's about to happen, or it's doing something for me that I might not know that it's doing. One time I was part of a light language circle, and so we were tasked with pulling down number codes from anywhere that wanted to come through us. And so I was sitting with this group on a Zoom meeting, and I was like, okay, calling in whoever needed to show up at that time. I wasn't placing a limit on who that was. I was like, okay, whoever wants to come in, come through and give me some number codes in whatever light language this will be, whatever that sounds like. And so then I started speaking, but I was like babbling, like it felt like they were having a conversation, and like my really like logical Luann mind was going, what is happening? This isn't the assignment. I was supposed to say numbers. This just sounds like they're chatting. And so I was kind of like, guys, like, let's get to the point here. And they gave their codes. And then when we were done and reflecting back on it, one of the participants was like, oh, yeah, you were doing dragon, and I recognized some of it. And it was like, they were basically saying hi and welcome. And I just laughed because I just wanted to control this situation. And like this, whatever was coming through me wanted to be polite and like have a little bit of a warm-up chat session before they got down to business. And so it was really actually kind of affirming, because sometimes that happens and you're like, what is happening? Am I making this up? Is this even real? Does anyone else like get it? Am I crazy? And so it was affirming that somebody was like, no, that was dragon and this and that. So that was really neat. So those are my human moments. That's how light language comes through me. I love to set intentions to channel, but oftentimes it just comes when it's needed and when I have the space and the capacity to be present for it. And if I don't make that time and space, then I don't often create my light language activations. But when it does come through and I'm listening to it as it's coming through, I might not even have an intention or know what it's for, but as it's coming, I'll start to see visuals, or I'll start to feel something or sense something, or I'll hear something that they're telling me what this is about and for. And then I create my content. That's how I create my content. And then I also find it very interesting because there will be a few other people that are in my awareness that do light language, and they'll be producing the same, or they'll be producing similar content at the same time. So it's so validating because we're not talking about what we're creating, it's coming to us individually, but there's this overall consensus of the energies that are coming through the planet right now, and we're bringing awareness to them, or we're connecting to their awareness. So I'm just loving it. It's something I never thought I would do. I definitely feel weird about it sometimes, especially when it happens when maybe like normie people are around and like my husband. And it's just like all of a sudden I'm spontaneously talking in this other language. And I was like, I don't even care anymore. Like this just, I'm weird. And if that weirds you out, like I understand, but sometimes I can't control it. And sometimes it just needs to be out because there's something that needs to happen right now. And that's beyond my conscious understanding. So that's how my light language came. It wasn't intentional. I do cultivate it by practicing, by setting intentions when I meditate, by then listening to other people. A book I read was called Opening to Light Language by Jamie Price. And I just read this recently, so it wasn't something I read before my light language activated or even during the infancy stages, because I really wanted to keep whatever was happening pure and not, so I wouldn't think it was because I had heard something from somebody else. And that really helped me develop a lot of trust in what was coming through as being authentic. And then you can feel it, like as you're doing it and or afterwards, like you will just sit there and you'll just be like, oh, love. I am so filled with peace and love. That's how it feels. It's just, or like like if dragon for me, for sure, you're like, I got this, let's go, right? Like I'm empowered. And so that's how it feels. Now, if you're interested in cultivating that skill set, even just like mildly interested, don't get attached to it, but be playful about it. We all have the capacity to do this, right? We're all souls. We all have a soul. We all have a soul language. And all you have to really do is start with getting quiet and setting the intention, and imagine yourself in this beautiful like love bubble, and just be quiet and listen in and start to sense in your body where you feel things, and just allow that part. Like, don't rush this. So just be quiet, observe, right? Meditation is the biggest support in this. Then you're going to need to make sure your throat chakra is not blocked. So whether you send love to it, whether you get healing from somebody else, open it up, use your voice. So hum, sing, chant, mantra, speak something to somebody. I'm always really activated after I've had stimulating conversations with people, whether positive, negative, whatever, just fun conversations. And then just take a moment and just, even just try it right now. Just breathe in and then release down your body. Just breathe normally, feeling into your body. You can hum. Humming is like a resonant tuner for your nervous system. It calms your nervous system down. Your voice has the capacity to heal yourself, regardless of how you think it sounds. And just allow that to come in. Maybe you can go no 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 no, and just start to make random noises. Right? Just something will come through. Move your hands if you need to. Like, just imagine the energy flowing and coming back and around and down into your heart, to your throat, expressing back out. Grab a pen, start scribbling something as you're humming and speaking. Just try it. See what happens. Stop the thinking mind, and the humming can help stop the thinking mind. And then the drawing can help, right? Because then you're humming and you're drawing, and you're kind of keeping your mind busy, and then you're focusing on how your body feels. And it's kind of like putting the logic mind in the back seat for a little bit, and then just see what happens. Send love to yourself. You can, self Reiki yourself if that's something you're inclined to do. Jiggle your throat a little bit. There's YouTube videos about how to like release your throat and your muscles in your throat. And then just make it up. Just try and see what happens. Like, just say babbly words and see how you feel. Have fun with it. That's your inner child coming out. And then just go from there and just play with it. And you might not even want to do that. You might just like to receive, and that's great too, right? I find it's really beautiful, and it doesn't take a long time, and it's there. Like, light language is coming online now for a lot of people spontaneously, because it's an innate ability we all have, first off. But it's there because our collective consciousness is rising. It's helping to repair our nervous systems to hold more energy. So even the act of hearing light language, saying it, humming, singing, helps repair our polyvagal nerve. It's remembering that we're more than just humans. We are a soul in a human body, part of our soul is having a human experience, but a larger part of our soul isn't in our body. It's elsewhere, having other experiences, but we're all like connected. And so that's our multidimensional aspects. And so that's what light language is helping us even connect in. And sometimes I think when I'm hearing it and it's being spoken to me, that it is a parallel version of myself in a different dimension. So maybe it's the Arcturian expression of myself, or my Pleiadian, or my dragon aspect. Like, imagine like a beautiful vase that's broken into a gazillion pieces, maybe a sphere. Let's do a sphere. A sphere broken into a bunch of pieces, and each piece is part of the sphere still, right? And when they come back together, they can connect and then communicate through maybe the channels. What's that Japanese art where they put gold in the cracks and it's supposed to, like, it means something really beautiful? Like that, right? There's communication channels then between all of our different aspects through this light language. So that's my journey with it, and I hope that helped you, and I hope you maybe enjoyed the experience of playing and trying to see what came through for you in this short little bit. And if you feel called, just simply again place your hand on your heart and set the intention that when you're ready and when it's in your highest and best good, that your light language be activated in you in a way that is meant to be expressed through you, knowing that it might not be through sound, that it might be through movement, that it might be through drawing. Maybe it's even through cooking, like something random like that. And you don't need anyone to activate you. You do have that capacity within yourself. It's always lovely, again, to get an activation, to be in a ritual and to be a group setting. It really provides that ceremony space, but it's not necessary. You can just do it in your room while you're meditating by yourself. And then if this conversation sparked anything within you and you're curious about it and just want to chat and ask questions or have feedback or your own experience you'd love to share, I'd love to hear what happened for you and came through for you in the comments. So thanks for your time. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you again.